RPG for You and Me presents Neon Heat, a duet actual play podcast using the Savage Worlds rule set in our custom cyber fantasy setting. Thank you for joining us, and welcome back to Caldonics.
Previously on Neon Heat, Athena is annoyed to find the person causing the disturbance at Escarglow was none other than Dick Richter, and she leaves after a brief shouting match in the street. Athena hosts a taste-testing dinner at Escarglow with Phil Nutter and Bolt, and agrees to help Phil interview her alongside Irma Novi the next day, if he provides information about how Mobius is going to sabotage her dad at the cook-off. Bolt begins acquiring a taste for Barisks, much to Clint's delight. Athena and Bolt head to the Shard with Tuca in an attempt to convince Bolt to become an aspirant. After the matches and Bolt's exit, Tuca leads Athena to a surprise meet and greet with one of her remaining heroes, Magnitude Magnificent, before returning home to prepare for her interview the next day.
Athena, you wake up in your bedroom to the smell of delicious, sizzling breakfast.
Oh, thank God.
You find Lepaco downstairs in the kitchen, bustling about, cooks a hearty breakfast for you and probably makes extra for Pavi.
That's nice.
Because, he's not a rude, exclusive dick like that.
But now we know.
Yeah.
Athena, her morning state is more of a shamble than anything these days, especially.
Lepaco, scuttling around the kitchen on his yar legs. He's like a sampler. He picks at the food, like little bits here and there. That's how he gets his food. Probably eats like an actual plate too, but how you feeling?
I couldn't even sleep.
Is this accurate?
She did sleep, but it probably took her a while to fall asleep on that adrenaline from the last night.
A frontal shot of Athena looking like a complete mess.
Yeah.
Even short hair tousled.
She got them bags under her eyes. She always has the bags, but she covers them up deftly.
He pours you coffee.
She nods gratefully.
We got one quick meeting before that interview of yours.
We do?
Mm-hmm.
With who? With Roth?
He had quirked an eyebrow at you, but when you say Roth, he just rolls his eyes and walks away.
She looks at Pavi. Did I forget something?
Pavi's mouth is stuffed with food, and she goes, swallows. I don't know anything about your schedule.
Lepaco, what are you talking about? It's too early for this.
The lights in the room flicker. The lamp in one corner illuminates and readjusts itself to create a trifecta spotlight on the ground.
She nods.
Where the holographic form of Thalassica appears.
Meeting. Got it. She swivels around on the bar stool that I've decided swivels.
Nice. Like it.
Who doesn't like a swiveling bar stool?
Are you ready for your big day?
No.
I'm not sure what answer I was expecting.
Probably should have been that one, huh?
Thalassica appears and Pavi chokes just a little bit on what she's eating, just goes out of surprise because it's been a while since that specifically happened, then swallows and says...
She pats Pavi's back a little bit. She's like, there you go. Hands her a coffee mug.
Thank you. Takes a sip. Well, congratulations on reaching this point, Athena.
Of being alive still, or that I'm about to be interviewed specifically?
Both, I suppose. Tell me, how do you plan on using this situation to your advantage?
I was gonna put the wardens on pretty significant blast was my idea. Good way to get them out for visibility for later action. She says giving up on terms. As you flounder, Thalassica stands in silence but nods.
I hope you're a bit more articulate after waking up.
I just gotta turn it on. Just gotta turn on that dial for the charm. Yep. She takes her coffee back from Pavi.
Leveraging the city against the wardens is a sound plan. What else?
Oh, geez, that was really like my only plan. Thought it was enough. What do you got any suggestions?
Because your role is growing now, you need to understand more pieces. I'm not always available to hold your hand and spoon-feed you answers. You just need to look at the bigger picture. This is an opportunity. What else can you leverage? How would you benefit from disclosing information to the public?
Getting people on my side? Right?
Perhaps.
What else could I do? Surely things. If I hadn't had such a super cool late night, maybe I would have been thinking about more of them.
So it sounds like you need to work harder at your work-life balance.
Well, people keep telling me I need to do more of the life thing and less of the work thing, but now I'm kind of getting the other vibe around from you.
There's not one answer. It is a balance. But let's just say you know in advance that you're going to be having an important interview. Would it be prudent to go to bed early to ensure that you're in a better position?
Well, I was kind of doing a Bolt thing, you know? That other job that you gave me.
Ah, yes, Bolt.
What about him?
And she leans forward just a little bit expectantly.
What can I do with Bolt? What?
Again, I can't give you all the answers all the time, but this would be a prime opportunity to talk up Bolt and his contribution to the city. This is a public forum, Athena. It's an interview, but people are going to see it. What you say carries weight now, whether or not you want it to. People know who you are. You've made a splash since you returned. You're a known name, but still somewhat of an unknown quantity. This is the first opportunity that the general populace will have to get any kind of bead on who you are as a person. And it doesn't have to be you, but this is the image you present to them. How do you want to appear?
Competent?
Reasonable. Might also be reasonable to say incompetent if you want to undermine their expectations. Again, there is no right or wrong answer, but you need to think about these things. Everything you do, everything you say, in the open, to people, can be relayed. It's part of who you are, whether or not you like it. It will always influence the way others view you.
Athena ruffles through her hair with her hand. I haven't even decided what to wear yet.
As far as Oleracorp is concerned, the thing that matters is that, in general, the people of the city prefer Bolt to the current Oleracorp leadership. If the city's internal defense is truly needed now, you can feel free to openly criticize Galassi if you see fit, but I would recommend leaving Zaxby out of it directly.
Why is that? Just because he's here?
Because he's here, because he's more intelligent, because he can be a dangerous opponent.
I mean, what's his deal?
Zaxby? I suppose you could consider him something of a major domo, a seneschal, if you will. He handles business matters, mostly behind the scenes, handshakes in private. He's a puppet master. There is no shortage of those, as I'm sure you're aware. Zaxby also intends for Bolt to usurp his brother. For different reasons, I'm sure, but we share that in common.
Really? Why?
Control. Why else? His brother may not be as brilliant as he is, but he does have influence. He has power and sway. They mostly stay out of one another's ways to ensure that the family business lives on, that they hold power. But they don't work together on much. They don't collaborate.
So who pissed who off? That'd be a fun thing to dig into.
Indeed. And an excellent question. But ultimately, it might not matter. If you'd like to investigate, please feel free. Let me know what you turn up.
Do you think Bolt's doing the same thing with me that I'm trying to do with him?
In what way?
He said he has a lot of orders from his family that he can't talk about, but if everybody thinks he's kind of dumb, and they think I'm kind of dumb, maybe they think these two dummies are just gonna tangle each other up.
That could be. If you're in a position of power and your power is to influence others, you are always looking, always watching to see what opportunities present themselves. When you are placed with Bolt, it's only natural for him to assume that that would be easy leverage into the city's political family power structure, any other avenue. So yes, I think it's safe to assume that Zaxby, at the very least, has certainly considered how Bolt might be used to leverage you. Whether or not that works, or whether or not he actually understands who you are, what your goals are, and what you stand for, remains to be seen. But I have done my best to ensure that he is behind on that particular goal.
How'd you manage that?
How do I manage anything? Information control.
You know, Zaxby's wrapped up in the eyes, I think. That message I got the night Tuca got shot, Zaxby was one of the names that they dropped. So he seems to know a little bit more about that. But considering who it was coming from...
It's certainly possible. This is all news to me, or it has been as we've learned more. And that's why I say do not trust Zaxby. Be cautious with him. We don't know what else he might have going behind the scenes. It's impossible to say, but he and his brother head Oleracorp. Your imagination can only stretch so far as to what influence they might wield. You know what they do have access to. Just imagine what they keep hidden behind the scenes. What alliances, what deals, what double crosses might come. Who can say? Even my influence only stretches so far. But then, I'm not the head of Oleracorp.
My grandfather's brain's fucked up. I think the Zadars or someone adjacent's been in it.
Why would you think that?
Because I looked at him and he's got a lovely purple rim around it. It's not his, doesn't belong to him. He doesn't remember, it just seems like it's a tamper. Like, with regulation. But not from the same source.
Thalassica's form begins to pace head down, the robe hood drooping a bit as this shimmering blue hologram goes throughout the room. And this whole time, Lepaco has been still knocking around into the kitchen, occasionally banging things, or there's a scraping noise, that sort of thing.
I don't really think that bothers her.
Still seated near you, but has remained quiet and relatively wide-eyed through all this. Thalassica does eventually turn to speak with you. If someone is pulling his strings, that's dire news indeed. I don't know what to recommend in this circumstance. Can you look into it? Can you be sure? Can you trace the source in any way?
Well, from what I've been learning, it's something we gotta take time with, and if we just barge right in there, it could cause irreparable damage and loss of information, loss of person. So I want to be very sure this is a necessary step before continuing.
Well, that could certainly explain some of his behaviors.
Some of them, sure. Oh, you remember how, you told me Jex Davith never left the city when he retired?
Yes, I do.
He was murdered. Murdered by a whole bunch of people. Not only including Silas. And, some more purple people. Just cropping up everywhere. Maybe Olivier, that's why she's trying to kill Silas. I don't know. But these are all things, we shouldn't worry about today. It's not interview adjacent.
Don't be snide, Athena. Doesn't suit you. Not as well as you think it does. It's not surprising to me that he was murdered. How did you find this out? How did you discover this? How do you know that Silas was involved?
Just information trickle. Some new friends. Can't verify it yet, but that's what I'm thinking.
The ambitious and those in power invariably crave more of it. So this doesn't fully surprise me, but these purple lights, these purple eyes, with no leads, aside from Darius, of course. How would Darius benefit from Jex Davith's death if he was involved?
I don't know that he was. He doesn't have purple eyes, so far as I can tell. He's just got purple residue on him.
More questions. Less answers.
Did Laverna get back to you about anything?
She did. We will discuss those particulars at a different time.
Oh good, not time sensitive. That's a relief.
It seems that way for now, but that can always change.
Well, you got any parting advice for a very nervous interviewee?
Be openly supportive of Oleracorp as much as you're able to. You don't need to fully endorse them, but make people understand why they're here and what purpose they serve. You can be the voice of reform. Present ideas for how we could better work together. Do not speak of these colored eyes, these things. There are enough pieces in play without calling attention to them in whatever role they serve.
Oleracorp reform's going to be kind of a hard thing to pitch to, a city of people doesn't want any form of them here.
Well, you were recently assaulted by these Wardens of the Called. You're a citizen. You're connected to the political infrastructure. You don't have to be fully overt, but even positive words in whatever light. Speak about the people, if not AleraCorp. AleraCorp, you can say higher level management. Those out of touch with the people are the ones directing and making those judgment calls, but the people on the ground are just like you and me. They can't control it, they can't help it, they just need better leadership like we have. And these Wardens of the Called, well, they're no good. Look at what they did to me. They're taking things too far. We have regulators for a reason. They're taking the law into their own hands. Sow seeds of doubt. Win more to your side. Don't worry about Caldonix versus AleraCorp. Worry about you. You have the power to influence these people, Athena. They want to believe you. They want to know more about you. That's the purpose of this interview in the first place. Use it.
I'm a little nervous about publicly speaking out about, if not by name, but Galassi, because I'm not really in a good place to be fighting off hit squads that may or may not be sent because of my odd little puzzle piece shape in this city.
These are your choices to make, Athena. I'm simply giving you the best direction that I can in terms of overarching goals. Speaking of which, Jean tells me you took Bolt to that ridiculous spectacle at the Shard.
I sure did.
And?
I think he likes it a lot, but he's not allowing himself to yet till he okays it with his family, which they're not going to give him the okay. But he already saw how much an explosion can get the crowd going there, and he just loves people clapping for him.
The thing that matters, in general, is that the people of this city prefer him to the current AleraCorp leadership. It is good to endear him to them, but it's a fine line because we can't allow him to completely give up any aspirations of taking over the family business until he reaches such a point as to be a comfortable puppet. But there's work to be done until that time. So feel free to foster this influence, this newly found passion, but not in so much as it interrupts the goals.
Of course, the goals, she says with slightly flat eyes. She has so many more goals than she had a month ago.
If they lose control of Bolt, Athena, they will undoubtedly replace him somehow, and we will lose whatever foothold we've gained into their structure. Building blocks. That's what we need.
Building blocks are a smart place to start. If we really need him to abandon it completely, we could probably, lean on that family duty aspect, which he seems to be very into. I just don't think he should be a regulator right now.
Oh, undoubtedly, he's a terrible regulator, but it puts him in a position of power. Although, if he did become an aspirant, that would put him closer to the Called, closer to the Cassar and the Baron, but with less direct power and influence, less overt visibility. It would be more about his persona than him as a person.
But if he endears himself to them, that's an easy in later on, isn't it? Once you get to know him, he's not shitty. He's just, he's a little shitty, but he's just dumb and he's rich and he doesn't know any better. So if he's on the ground seeing more actual real people that aren't handlers, and she looks down at herself and gestures to Lepaco in the kitchen, maybe it'd be good for him overall. Make him a better candidate for things. She says, really petering out there at the end.
Perhaps, as long as there's still something for him to fixate on so he doesn't actually become interested in politics.
Well,
the last thing we need is for a puppet to try to pull its own strings. That just makes a tangled mess. Ridiculous.
Well, we don't want him to be ridiculous.
Just don't appear weak in the interview.
What about charmingly vulnerable?
Charmingly vulnerable is something we can work with. Just don't appear shaken. Don't let them see your wound has set you back in any significant fashion. Maybe a display of your abilities on camera to convince those watching that you're still not to be trifled with.
Yeah, I've got an idea or two.
Well, it's not like I'll be there to stop you, so do as you will. Don't think I have anything more I can add at this time, unless you have questions for me.
Nope, I just gotta Pick out an outfit and get my brain in the right space, right? Maybe figure out my hair. Short or long?
I've never been one for fashion. Jean, what do you think?
Athena puts her elbow on the counter as she turns around.
Lepaco is holding his own plate, picking at the food with his hands, not using a utensil.
What the fuck?
Picking up the morsels, toss them in his mouth.
Athena takes a second to eyeball his fingers,
Just
eyebrows raised.
Sucking the grease off of every one of his overlarge Yara fingers. Maybe a little bit more off-putting than the average person due to the size of these fingers.
Maybe just a little bit.
His 2-finger and a thumb hands. Well, short hair's cleaner, more professional. Can't do as much with it, but it doesn't stand out. If you go with something longer, since it's gonna be televised, then you gotta make sure you keep it under control unless you're really, playing that up as part of your image. So, pick a look, but stick with it.
Short it is. She says, easier for me.
Jean is still, eating stuff, and Thalassa turns to Lepaco. Jean, dear, use silverware. That's disgusting. You know better than that. And he sucks on a juicy finger and he says, well, why don't you come make me? Not like you can do anything from there.
Oh, fuck. Athena says out loud. Turns to look at her over her shoulder. I assume in the middle of the room is a spooky hologram.
Shakes its head in an expected but still disgusted gesture. Jean has many admirable attributes, but some habits you shouldn't pick up from him.
Your concern is noted, but we'll see what sticks.
His fingers on everything. Good luck today, Athena.
Thank you.
Thalassa actually turns to Pavi now.
Huh.
You know, Pavi, I've been watching you work for some time now. It seems you've come a long way with those contraptions you've cobbled together. You still have a long way to go, but you show promise. Pavi is still just sitting there with a full mouth, not at all expecting to be addressed here. Takes a big gulp. Thank you.
Athena takes her shoulder in her hand. That's 'cause she's the best.
She smiles awkwardly and says, well, no, I'm not, but thank you for that compliment to also remind me that you're always here and watching. Very, very endearing.
Athena bobbles her head. She knows she's being watched at all times by everyone, so it didn't really factor in for her quite as much.
The hood swivels between the two of you before she speaks again. Well, you are two of a kind. Just learn to take the compliment and move on. Anyway, I have things to do.
Oh, don't let us hold you up.
Many plans have been held up for far too long. Good luck. With that, the image fades away, the blue slowly trickling out of the room and the lamp returning to still life, and it's just the three of you here.
Athena turns to Lepaco and says, how did you get mixed up with her?
It's a long story. Certainly not for now. She's good people.
Oh, that's good. I hoped.
I know.
I really hoped.
I know she can be, she has her way, certain way about her, but her intentions are good, and the plan is as sound as it's gonna get, I think.
The plan, she says, making a sweeping gesture.
Yes, the plan. I don't doubt there are plenty of things I don't know, but I do believe it's necessary, which is why I do what I do. He continues eating off of his plate with his bare fingers. He doesn't stop himself from touching things occasionally.
Oh.
I'll wash this off, don't worry.
I can't clean anything right now effectively, so...
Well, I'll take care of it. Stop worrying.
All right, you're fine.
I know. That was a weird compliment.
Nice, though, right?
Yeah, I guess. Still just, kind of weirded out that... Well, I guess we've covered that ground before. Nothing to be done. Lepaco, is there ever any chance that we're going to get our privacy back? Ever? And he chews and bobs his head back and forth a little bit. Oh, well, probably. I'm sure there'll be a time when it won't be as necessary to oversee this particular domicile, but that's not for me to know or decide, so I just probably prepare for the worst and go from there.
That's all I do anyway.
Well, then you're 2 steps ahead of most everything.
Oh, good. Whew.
Pavi nods glumly, running her tongue over her teeth.
Athena ruffles her hair a little bit.
Oh, off.
It could be worse, right?
I just spent so long doing this.
Oh God, no! She tries to put it back.
It was already a mess. She gives you a small wink. Well, Ms. Interviewee.
Yes.
You better go pick something out.
See, I only have 2 nice things to wear, and Nobi's definitely already seen me in both of them.
You should wear something that you're comfortable in, that, you don't mind being photographed in. Doesn't have to be a dress. In fact, it probably shouldn't be a dress.
But my favorite jacket is shredded. I don't know what to wear. This is so hard.
Well, I'll help you pick something out.
I trust your fashion sense far more than mine. We fade in on a shot of Athena in a thrift store. Pavi nearby, rifling through coat racks as Lepaco scuttles around in the background. As Athena's flipping through racks, looking maybe a little frantically as it gets later in the day for a cute jacket, she turns to Pavi and says, "You got any plans for a festival?"
Pavi, who is standing next to you, leafing through the racks of clothes as well, occasionally pulling a sleeve out, holding it up against her to see how it might fit or look, gives an absent-minded shake of her head. No, not really. I mean, my main focus is going to be the competition, make sure everything goes well, be there to support you, eat a lot of food. Year over year, it's pretty standard.
I was just, I was wondering if you'd be my dad's second for the cook-off, because I can't do it, and you're obviously way better at chopping veggies than me now.
She's not surprised by this request, like she isn't shocked into silence or anything. She's got a little bit of a smile on her face, quirking one side of her mouth, as she continues looking at stuff and glances over to you and says, "Are you sure about that?"
What do you mean?
I don't know, just seemed like something that you and your dad should do.
On a good day, I wouldn't be much help, and right now, I'm significantly less help. I would just goof him up. I can't cost him this.
As long as your dad's okay with it, of course I'll help, yeah. I am, probably more in practice in general.
Probably.
Well, I want him to beat Mobius in a stupid, smug face as much as you do. Especially Dick.
Fucking Dick.
Her hands clench on the leather of whatever she's holding.
I almost beat him up yesterday. It's neither here nor there.
And you didn't.
Bystanders.
Yeah. You fill her in on what happened.
Yeah.
Pinches her mouth. You can hear the rattle going a little bit in her throat and her neck convulsing, the seams at her mouth expanding into a snarl. Could never stoop too low. I don't know, it doesn't surprise me, but still disappointing.
They'll be surprised how low I can go.
Don't do anything underhanded that would sabotage his competition.
Oh, it's above the board. It's just shitty, probably.
Oh, well, I mean, that's probably okay.
Probably.
What are you going to do?
I don't know, I was just gonna talk to Ton about some stuff. It's probably gonna be fine.
Probably. It's good to know the Baron, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Feastival after this. Let's focus on getting you something. Because, that's happening this afternoon.
Yeah, that's true.
Pavi helps you continue searching.
We get a point of view shot from inside the rack as Athena's fingers rest on this leather jacket that used to be a dark purple leather, but now it's faded away into a soft purple gray, and she pulls it out and holds it up against her, gesturing over to Pavi for an opinion.
Pavi nods approvingly. Lepaco does sort of like, eh.
Well, you find me a better jacket then, damn!
He looks around the store with a skeptical glance. What, here?
We're not made of money right now, Lepaco.
Well, be made of something else.
Well, goddamn!
Sometimes you just gotta call it a day and move on.
Yeah, alright. This'll do fine.
Well,
this will do fine.
There's that confidence. That's good.
See, I'm saving it all up for the interview, so I'm just gonna be a waffly little bitch for a couple hours to prepare.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
We zoom into the jacket that Athena is holding, disappearing into the color. Everything is black. We zoom back out of the same jacket.
She's wearing it now.
She's wearing it now. And we find her located in the garage at her apartment with a cluster of other folks.
Who are among these other folks?
She's joined by Pavi, Tuca, Zadal, and in the background, as always, Lepaco.
Can't get rid of this guy.
Not even if you tried. So I think we just get a couple of quick shots of all of you arranged down in the garage, passing items back and forth. Zadal unfurls a sheet of paper that looks to be a schematic, very basic drawings, and he's pointing between them as you guys are all looking at it, and we can see that these are different designs for augmentations. Pavi quickly steps in and begins pointing between them as well, offering suggestions and such. Maybe one of them looks like a small microchip. One of them's closer to like an antenna. There's one that looks like it's a band or tiara similar to what you have. A couple of rudimentary drawings of a person's head with arrows pointing in different spots. A very gooby looking brain that could also have just been a cloud. Puffy circle.
If it's good enough for Michelangelo.
Right. We see Tuca shaking out her mane of tendrils with the bristly white hairs, and then she pulls them together over one shoulder and is just pointing at them as you guys talk.
Athena gives a thumbs up for a lot of these shots. Athena is engaged, but also trying to do her makeup in the mirror of the cycle at the same time, because I think she forgot to do it earlier. So she's just a little fuzzy in the background, leaning off the bike itself for leverage.
I like that.
Putting on some eyeliner.
We see her looking into the mirror and doing this, and the group gathered behind her in the mirror. Did you request that people accompany you for moral support or anything to that effect?
To the interview?
Yeah.
She would have asked Pavi specifically.
Anybody else?
If anybody else wants to come, she wouldn't say no. See this disaster. Athena gestures to the group and is just like, well, we're gonna go to an interview. If you guys want to see me make an ass out of myself, you're welcome to come, but that's what I'm doing.
I think there are cheers at that. All your friends just, woo, start to clap a little bit. I think you're gonna be fine. Give yourself some credit, and if you do really mess it up, too bad, then I'm sure everybody will forget about it at some point. Pavi looks skeptical.
It's all about the ratings, you see.
Well, people making fools of themselves, that's never been popular.
No.
Nobody wants to see that.
No. She specifically asked Pavi to come for moral support earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, Pavi definitely comes. All of your friends will come unless you tell them that you don't want them to.
Why would she tell them that? They're her friends.
I don't know if she was embarrassed or whatever.
Oh, she's embarrassed, but maybe it'd be easier if she sees them laughing too.
Right. So it's Athena, Zadal, Pavi, and Lepaco right now, and Tuca. You guys make it to the highway. You take the train westbound to West City, which is AlariCorp's district, mostly. And there is a very large park just smack in the middle.
So the largest park in the West District, it spans several blocks and it's tiered, rises in levels with these floors connected by these big old concrete ramps and bridges. They're suspended by these thick columns. Foliage pours over the tiers, suspended in the air. The lower tiers with their ceilings grown over with, moss and mushrooms that twinkle like the cavern above. Save for, the holes where artificial waterfalls pour through from the top level. It smells like damp but very sweet earth. Plant life sways in the fan breeze, which is definitely stronger on this side of the city, just because it's so close to a lair resort. The highest levels are thick with trails and pathways and large mushroom trees. They glow a dark blue and purple in this specific area, and I think the larger the mushroom, the darker the color. The tiny mushrooms that dot the area on the ground and the columns and even on other mushrooms are small and bright and cheerful, and they sparkle in the siku moth dust that's just everywhere in the city. Small geckos are darting across the paths, clearing out of the way of footsteps.
Do you think there's an amphitheater maybe?
Yes.
Like a Shakespeare in the Park type of bullshit?
Yes, there is.
Okay, yeah, there's a little amphitheater.
Absolutely.
And that's where the interview is going to be held.
Awesome.
You know where you are scheduled to have this interview?
I think Phil sent a runner.
Yeah. A hopper.
Maybe he was the runner?
Yeah, I think Phil's the runner, came back and let you know where it was going to be in the exact time, which is probably early afternoon, like early mid-afternoon, like 3 maybe 4. So you show up there. As you are coming to the amphitheater area, you notice that there is certainly a heavy regulator presence here, heavier than you would expect, especially being in West City, which is usually AlariCorp.
Mm-hmm.
But there is also a relatively heavy AlariCorp security outfit here. It's kind of like a middle school dance where some of them are on like
geez.
one side and the other are on another, but they seem to have staked out the areas that they will be overseeing and taking control of for security purposes. Really no level of intermingling. They're all equipped, maybe not heavily so, but they have weapons and firearms. AleraCorp security on the whole is equipped as well as, if not better than, a standard regulator. All their stuff is very sleek looking, very polished, whereas the regulators are mostly black with accent colors depending on their division. What do you think AleraCorp looks like?
We decided at some point early last season that it was like whites and light grays for AleraCorp. Because regulations all dark grays and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. So it's visually similar but distinct. So AleraCorp is much lighter tones, whites and grays. And they have like an AleraCorp logo that we don't have a logo for.
No, we do not.
So definitely AleraCorp though.
There's a logo.
There's a logo.
For sure.
Yeah. And there's variety in how people are equipped and present themselves. A lot of them are wearing different styles of helmets. Some of them have no helmets whatsoever. Some of them are equipped more lightly. They're clearly meant to be tactical, able to move, maybe climb, do athletic things. Some of them are equipped in a heavier manner, whether through protection or weaponry. You catch a lot of glances from both the regulators and AleraCorp and the people starting to mill about here. Nobody tries to stop you. There is certainly some muttering going on.
She leans over to Pavi. Are all these regulators here for me?
She nods and says, ever since the wardens, took shots at you and members of the sitting council, security's been a much bigger hot-button issue. I think they're very hesitant anytime a person of importance or visibility is, out doing something in public now, especially if it's announced beforehand, because it means if somebody's out to get them, they have ample time to prepare for it.
Yeah,
so
out.
You might not be everyone's favorite, but, you're still one of us, and can't just leave you over here in West District up to AleraCorp. But,
I'm flattered.
Well, AleraCorp, has a vested interest in protecting you as well.
Sure
seems.
Does.
And, they're mostly here for Novi, I think. But it's good. This is good. Even if nobody's... If you have this much protection, I don't think anything bad's going to happen.
Well, don't say that.
What? This didn't occur to you before now?
I haven't had a lot of thinking time.
Well, good. Chase that feeling.
I will.
Don't worry about it. We're going to be in the back. There's plenty of people here. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Lots of mushrooms. Going to keep everything nice and bright and block lines of sight.
Good.
Go get them.
Oh, I don't know any other way.
Don't I know it? She pats you on the arm. It looks like there's certainly a small crowd at this point, people sort of filtering into the seats. There's a crew off to one side, and from afar you can definitely tell that Novi and Phil are wandering about this area.
Excellent. She goes to find Novi first after giving her friends a wiggly, shaky wave farewell.
Tuca waves brightly as she's going off, jerks a thumb towards the seats, and says, well, we're gonna go find some good seats. We're gonna sit in the back so we don't distract you. But
okay.
we're gonna chill real loud for you.
Thank you.
Real loud, obnoxious. That's what we're here for. Lepaco is
probably sticking with her.
Staying closer, yeah. I think his intention is gonna be to stay like just off stage and out of sight for the most part.
Checks out.
So, you're seeking out Novi first.
Yeah.
She's standing there. Maybe she's talking to Graf. Just sitting there chattering. She's got a cigarette in one hand, just holding it out, sort of in a floppy way, gesticulating around. Yes, it is lit.
That was an important detail for me. You know what another important detail is? How long is the thing in that she's holding it with? Is it in a holder?
Oh, it has to be in a holder.
It has to be in a holder.
Yeah, it's long but not extravagant. It's an appropriately tasteful cigarette holder here.
Nice.
And I think the cherry is a strange green color, and it has this wispy blue smoke going up from it.
Oh, it's pretty.
Are you approaching her? Are you trying to get her attention to call her away somewhere? What's your goal here?
She's just approaching her.
You start to come over. She sees you approaching, brightens, and then turns and gestures to Graf. She kind of shoos him, a little bit. He bobs up and down on his wheels and turns on his spindly legs and wheels around the other side of the stage. And she comes over to you, arms wide as she approaches, walking towards you in heels. Oh, Athena, dear, it's wonderful to see you today. Glad you could make it. I knew you would.
Of course, I'm not gonna stand you up on a prearranged date. This is gonna be great.
Too right you wouldn't, dear, too right. You would never survive it. Publicly,
I probably wouldn't.
So, dear, one thing first. Is that pile of slime and scales speaking the truth? You're requiring that he be present for this interview?
Phil's a dear friend.
She gives you almost a reproachful look, like you've stunned her into silence with that. She just blinks at you.
I've been spending a lot of time with him and Bolton. We've gotten to know each other a little bit. He's, good people. I wouldn't mind having him around for this interview. It's my first big one. It would make me feel more comfortable. She's basically pitching him as an emotional support reporter.
It's my emotional support frog. While you're doing this, she's chewing lightly on the stem of the cigarette holder. It clacks against her teeth a little bit. Her eyes narrow as you're talking, and she leans in and grabs you by your one good elbow and steers you like 2 feet away from where you're currently standing. Like,
Athena doesn't love being steered, but she will allow some steering.
What leverage does he have over you, dear? I'm sure I can assist in freeing you from whatever debt or burden exists.
There's nothing.
I don't believe you're truly friends. And the only other explanation is that there are deals. I know how the game is played, dear. Tell me what you need, and we'll see if it can be done without him.
She squints a little bit.
There, I know. Come, dear.
Well, I mean, we did have dinner last night, and he's a very wonderful conversationalist, and he had promised to talk up my father's restaurant with Feastival right around the corner. It's very important that happens, but if he isn't involved, I'm very concerned about his allegiance with my father's primary business rival, which is already, he's already been publicly slandering my dad through your network for some time, so you can see my concern.
And he told you he could get this all to stop, is that it?
In less words.
Oh dear, well you know that I'm the only one who has any control over what goes on in my network, don't you?
He's just everywhere. He's got his sticky little fingers on everybody's shoulders.
Yes, and furthermore, he claimed that you are requiring me to introduce him and speak highly of him during this time.
You can just introduce him. Don't have to speak highly of him.
Well, he seems to understand the game and how it's played. But if that's the case, this is very poor business, my girl. It's a bad deal.
For who? Me?
For all of us, apparently. Everyone except for him. I can give you what you need. Tell him to buzz off. Tell him no deal.
But I already made it. Wouldn't it be satisfying to make him look like a jackass during the interview if you're asking better questions?
Well, I know I'm going to be asking better questions,
I
dear.
know.
I'm more concerned that it's going to sully my own image by even being seen with him.
Or elevate it in comparison.
And what reason would there be for me to even allow him to be there in the first place?
Maybe I could do something for you sometime. Once I get another arm.
Her smile quirks at one edge and she says, well, now you're speaking my language, dear, but what did you have in mind?
That depends on what you have in mind.
Oh, so
I'm very versatile.
This is just one big juicy IOU?
Could be.
She bites at her lip just a little bit. Well, dear, since you're clearly a woman of her word, if you're telling me that I get one big, fat, juicy IOU out of you, then who am I to say no? I'm sure we can think of a use for you.
Oh, I'm sure. Nothing illegal, mind you. I am a regulator.
She waves an airy hand. Oh, no, dear, no, you misunderstand me. But that idea might be just the ticket.
Oh, I can only fathom what that means.
Let's see how your interview goes, dear. See if you can surprise, dazzle, amaze, captivate the audience.
See, I gotta operate at a low profile for most of the day so I can really bring it when I need to. She says with hope in her eyes, flickering dully. If Novi's getting stuff set up, she stalks over to Phil.
You guys are making to walk away, and then she stops and grabs your one shoulder.
And she says, yeah.
Oh, and yeah, we must have someone take a look at that rat's nest of yours, dear.
Oh, yeah, I would appreciate that.
I'm sure. And she starts to walk away, and then stops and turns back. Oh, and tell your grandmother, Cressida, that we must have brunch soon.
I will.
Thank you, dear.
She's mumbling to herself, rat's nest. She walks away.
You go to find Phil.
Yeah.
What do you think Phil's wearing today?
I know exactly what Phil's
I
wearing.
would love for you to tell me.
Hear me out, you know? The suit that Benny wears in
The
Fallout New
checkered,
Vegas.
the black and white checkered suit. Yes! Bada bing, baby.
Backhand slaps his shoulder to make like a thwack noise. Phil, were you rude to Novi?
What's the goods?
Hey,
Hey,
come
what?
on. Were you rude to Novi?
No, of course not. Why would I be rude?
Why would you be rude?
Why would I be rude to anybody?
All right, Phil, I'm gonna give you my list.
Oh, yeah, you got those talking points for me?
I've got 2 very, very juicy talking points.
You got 2?
Yes.
In what universe is 2 a list?
Because they will surely unfurl to be more questions as we go, Phil.
Oh, all right.
Phil.
2 things is not a list.
It is. I wrote them on a list. It was 1, 2.
Ugh. Well, Novi ain't happy about this, but I smoothed it over.
Oh, God, how?
Well, she knows how close we are.
Mm-hmm. Dear friends.
Yeah.
I said that as well. Good.
Yeah, I mean, basically
we're
what
good
I said is,
friends.
is she... Yeah, I had to be involved because, you wouldn't agree to do it without me and, emotional support and all that.
Oh, my God.
It's fucking great because that was... I had planned that in advance as his reasoning, so I love that you...
God, that's
backed
fucking
it up.
phenomenal.
You dipshits didn't even have the forethought to agree on what you were going to say, but you both said the same thing.
Oh, my God.
It's wonderful.
She does start laughing when he says that. And
Hey, come on, it's plausible.
I know it is.
Oh, well, good.
She leans on her thigh a little bit and it's like, whoo.
Yeah, real hoot. So, what do you got for me?
You're gonna ask me about Zimmy and Krell.
Zimmy and Krell. You dropped that name during the last one where you got shot at, right?
I did. Hope I don't get shot at today.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, if you are, just, walk in the opposite, dive away from me, right?
Naturally.
Okay, good, just so we're clear on that.
Well, you can jump away pretty fast.
I can, but, distance is distance, so the further you are, the better. Try to put Noe between the two of us or something.
She's making eye lines around the stadium looking for sniper nooks.
If you would like to make me a notice, let's say at -2.
This is something that has occurred to her, but couldn't check till she was here.
Sure.
9.
9. From here, sure, there are a couple of spots where people might be able to have line of sight, but it's built into this hill, so a lot of it is just top looking down, and the amphitheater itself is down inside the hill.
Are there some of those big mushroom trees dotting it?
Yeah, I mean, and there's mushroom trees like throughout this entire friggin' park, so
It's beautiful.
a lot of the places that would have a good vantage point to look down are sort of right over the crest of the hill where the seating starts to go down in the amphitheater proper. There's probably a few scattered enormous mushrooms that they could hide on top of or behind or something like that, but there's no, obviously they're gonna shoot me from right there. It's just, there are spots, but there's no perfect spot. And a lot of them seem pretty exposed, so...
Right. Okay.
This area is denser and with vegetation and things like that, so it's not like there's easy visibility from a nearby building.
She feels better having taken a peek at stuff.
Smart idea. You can have a Benny for paranoia.
Oh, good. Could I also cast empathy on Phil?
Sure.
Mainly, I want to see if he's nervous.
Okay. Phil definitely has either a D6 or a D8 spirit. He's not like a little worm.
Slug's his
I think
friend.
I think I'll stick with a D6 for Phil, and I'll roll him as a wild card here. Although if combat were to break out, I don't think Phil would be a wild card.
Probably not a combat wild card, but a social maneuvering wild card.
Well, I feel like Phil's earned wild card status at this point.
He's just
for how
always
often
around.
He's come up. I got a 1 and a 4. What did you roll?
8.
An 8 is a success with a raise. So you get a +2 on anything you want to influence with Phil. You notice a red aura.
No!
Just kidding.
I was worried about that.
No. Phil's general vibe right now, yeah, there's definitely some anxiety there, maybe flickers of yellow and orange. Still plenty of smugness, green self-satisfaction. There's definitely some trepidation, but there is more smugness and self-satisfaction than trepidation. So he thinks this is going to go well. He feels pretty confident about that, and excitement.
She'll let him
bubbling
be
excitement.
nervous.
Yeah.
She shakes her head as the aura dissipates, as he's talking about something. She forgot what he was talking about while she was looking at his stuff. But says, point number 2. Asked me quite bluntly how I lost my arm.
I can definitely do that, but Is that it? Are you gonna react well? Cause
Yes.
okay, it's gonna be one of those like elephant in the room sort of things. So
Well, there's that. But, I mean, it hasn't been released to the public how it happened, and gosh, what a tale.
what a tale indeed. All right, well I'll probably have to beat her to the punch on that because she's gonna want to ask.
Right.
Okay. What else?
That was it.
You freaking kidding me? That's all you got for me?
It'll be good if you get there first. Phil, you're in
That wasn't the deal. You said
think
you were
it
gonna give me
was.
some good stuff about you and your life so that I could we could act like we're friends and stuff. And now you're not
You
giving
want
me
stuff
anything.
about my life?
Well, the interview questions. I'm supposed to ask you things about an interview.
I thought it was just gonna be about work. About my life.
What?
Phil, I don't know what I'm doing here. I
Hey.
don't get interviewed a lot.
He jerks his thumb in the direction of Novi. She's been pretty clear that this is about you and your story, so she can ask you a lot of personal questions probably.
Oh God. This only dawning on her now. Phil, I
mean-
think I misunderstood what was happening here, Phil.
It seems like that, but
Oh,
you know,
Phil.
I saw the little TV spot they put out about you, and it was pretty clear from what she was saying there that this is about you. So,
I was having a panic attack while they were filming that, so I don't remember a lot of it.
well, you better get over whatever you're having right now,
Yup.
because
Okay, let me fix my hair, or have someone fix it. I'll come back with more things for you. Yep.
you better come back.
Yeah, I might.
Wait, before you go.
Bye.
Wait. His extra long tongue runs out
Ugh.
and combs back his hair. He says, how do I look?
I think she takes a second.
He gives you like a huge froggy tooth smile, like,
Yeah, Phil, you look real good.
is that truthful or are you
I
lying?
think so. Compared to the suit he was wearing the other night, this is a better look for Phil Nutter than a burnt orange leisure suit.
He thumbs his lapels a little bit and says, well, don't I know it, but I appreciate the compliment. Thanks, baby. I'm not interested, don't worry.
Good.
But you know what I am interested in? That juicy information.
Yep, let me get my hair fixed. I'll be right back. She wanders around looking for someone who's holding a comb.
Somebody will point you in the right direction to assist you with that.
She gets wrangled. How does it look different? You think it's sleeker?
Put some hairspray on it to keep it in place. Your hair's usually pretty springy and bouncy, but now it's more in place.
That is odd for her. She returns to Phil. All right, Phil. I got some stuff. Okay, you got your little pad and your little pencil.
Yeah. And he pulls out a little pad and pencil ready to take notes. At this point, the crowd in the stands has grown, starting to fill in a lot more. There's more ambient chatter. You can still hear sounds coming through from the city, street traffic and occasional shouts, the bark of an animal. And Phil licks the tip of his pencil with his very long tongue.
All right, you can ask me how I met Joel Shin, previous proctor, because I doubt Novi knows about that, so that'll be good info for you.
He's writing this down.
You can ask me. I mean, you're gonna ask about my dad, right? In the restaurant.
I mean, I guess I could. I guess that's a common thread. That makes sense.
You did say it was delicious, Phil.
Listen,
Was it good? You've been dreaming about those snails?
it was, pretty good for a slimy little snail.
You're gonna have to talk it up a little bit more than that, Phil.
Yeah, well, I ain't on the air yet. And you still haven't given me what I came for. So come on,
Okay.
out with it.
That's 3 things. That's a list. Give me one more sec. That's 4 things. You asked me about Bolt and stuff. You took him to Shazad last night.
You did what?
After you left. He was still eating snails?
The pad and pencil drop to his sides. He runs his hand through his little tendril hair, starts to pace back and forth. Why did you do that? You're killing me, here, Sedaris.
Was I not supposed to?
No,
Why?
because he ain't supposed to know about it. Because it's a distraction. Gets in the way.
Of what?
What he's doing here?
What's he doing, Phil?
Trying to make his family look good. What do you think? He already told you that.
Are you...
As far as I know.
So the reason he didn't know about Shazad was it with you?
It's not all up to me.
Man. Whew. Keeping that curtain closed. Must have been tough.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thanks for that.
Wow.
Damn it. Scuffs his foot on the ground a little bit.
What do they got on you, Phil?
Opportunity.
She raises an eyebrow skeptically.
Don't worry about it. You worry about our deal, and you make good.
All I have to do is compliment your hair.
I mean, that's a good start.
Then let's go.
We're gonna see how this goes. This better turn out well.
Yeah, Phil, here's the thing. If it's really good, or if it's a disaster, Either way, the ratings will be good. It just can't be in the middle, right?
I mean, for you, but I need to look good. That's all that matters. I don't care about your image, whatever. I gotta look good.
I don't care about my image.
Good.
Good. Come on, emotional support friend. She says.
Starts to waddle after you.
As she's getting ready, she looks to see where her friends settled down and makes sure she got an eye line on Lepaco, just so she could feel, like, situated in her world while this is happening.
Your friends are, like, way in the back row, like the cool kids.
Nice.
So you look up there.
Smoking cigarettes.
Maybe Sadal is, yeah. You look up there, Tuca and Pavi immediately start to
She makes a very
happily.
nervous, like, kind of like, you know what I mean? Where you jerk your head backwards a little bit as you're smiling.
Sure. Yeah. Pavi gives you a thumbs up. Lepaco is generally nearby. You know, he's always within eyesight and earshot. But you see him there, and if you look over to him, he gives you a nod.
I'm just getting ready, bobbling her leg.
Novi gestures you over when it's time. During this next scene, Graf is just going to be on a swivel there, getting shots of both of you, moving around in dynamic ways to get closer. And you do note that there are 2 other regular camera guys on either side of the stage.
Athena's sitting there with her slightly less bouncy hair, what she hopes is a winning smile. And her jacket, it's just flopped. She very clearly does not have one arm, but she's still got the jacket on like she does.
Gotcha.
Dark jeans, cute boots, light gray tank top.
Novi comes over and sits in the chair across from you, and there are, in fact, 2 chairs there right now. But she sits in one of them, and she finishes the cigarette that she's smoking now. Doesn't even look, just turns and flicks it behind her. It spirals off, bounces on the edge of the stage, and you see a small stagehand person immediately go over and pick it up and disappear.
Pros.
Blows out the blue smoke. Novi joins you and leans in. Are you quite ready, dear?
I hope so.
So do I.
Whew.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's be on then, shall we?
Let's.
Oh, I suppose I will introduce our third shortly after beginning.
You might like it at the top. I'm fine going second.
It's no. It's me and then you and then him. Dear.
I've never understood how interviews work because I watch them so infrequently.
Not to worry, dear, not to worry. I'm sure you'll be a natural. But just remember, one big juicy IOU.
One big juicy IOU for my emotional support, Karnak, she says with a smile.
She returns it mischievous and says, wonderful, dear, wonderful. What color do you think her headscarf is today?
Maybe it's a blue.
Just a nice blue headscarf with her bushy purple hair neatly tucked back.
Swoopy.
She's wearing another one of her nice pantsuits. What color do you think this one is?
My instinct is a dark gray with accents of the light blue.
Smile, dear. It's showtime.
Oh, she smiles.
You can smell it in the air, the excitement, the energy. They're thirsty, they're hungry, they need sustenance, and that sustenance is your story.
She takes a deep breath in through her nose. I think I just smell the vendors. And shakes her head a little bit distracted.
Moments later, Graf rolls onto the stage of the amphitheater right by you and bobs up and down in greeting.
She waves at him. How's it going, Graf? Athena's pupils are as thin as possible for her cat slits. Just out of fear. There's so many people here.
The lights come on from the cameras on opposite ends of the stage. Not overwhelmingly bright, but shining from both angles to make sure that everything is well lit. There's a couple of microphones that somebody set up on the front of the stage near the bottom to just catch everything. Welcome everyone, one and all, boys and girls, all ages. We have a special treat for you today. Ermin Novi, your favorite, I know, am joined here by regulator Deirdre Athena Sedaris. What a pleasure it is to see you, dear. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
When she introduces you, Athena, there is... To your surprise, there's a lot of applause and cheering from the crowd, not least of which is your friends, hollering from the top row, but it's more than just your friends. Like, there are people clapping.
This is very surprising, but she beams at her friends.
Yes. And before we get into things, and there's a pause as part of her dies inside, a moment of doubt, but then she's like, I'm in the middle, I can't stop this. I'm sure all of you know that I like to handle interviews on my own when I do conduct them. As an additional treat for this evening, at the request of Athena herself, we are joined by one of the up-and-coming personalities, bridging the gap between the Called Chronicle and Novi Now. Please join me in introducing Fillmore Nutter.
Athena's eyes widen just a little bit.
Yeah.
As she looks over at Phil.
And she turns to one side, gesturing, and it's like there's no curtain for him to come through, but you do now notice that there's a billowing fog on that side that he walks up through the stairs out of. You know, wisps are caught on his checkered suit as he comes out. And
God, he's been Zeeb this whole time.
And there's, well, to be fair, you did see him do this the first time you
forgot about it. He seems up and up. I looked at his brain.
He walks out, he's waving to everybody. There's polite applause from the crowd. He doesn't look like he has a fan section or anything like that.
Athena just tries to look super jazzed that Phil is here.
Walks out to join you two in the middle of the stage, hoists himself up to sit, reaches out to shake your hand.
Yeah, she shakes his hand.
Reaches out to shake Novi's hand, who looks at it. You can see she's looking at him with like a death stare.
But away from the cameras.
But yeah, like reaches out and accepts it, and you notice that when she pulls her hand back, there is a sticky residue there.
She looks at her hand.
Oh, yours is fine.
She nods at Phil.
He gives you a small wink to the side that the camera can't see as well.
Little mustache twitching, probably.
Yeah. And he sits down, and you note that Novi puts her hand on her leg, not facing the camera, and just slowly over the next minute starts to rub it back and forth to get the
What
slime.
a professional.
Yeah. Athena, we're here to learn more about you and your trials, your tribulations, your struggles, what makes you tick. But let's start with the basics. Where did you grow up?
I think that's fairly obvious. My beautiful hometown of Caldonics.
Well, yes, dear, that is obvious, but where? What district are you from?
East City.
And in what part of East City?
I grew up in the heavy dining and entertainment districts. Always something going on. She corrects herself.
We're keeping it.
Yeah, I know.
And when did you first decide to become a regulator? What was your inspiration?
Well, you know, I did attend the Spectators. Got to see a lot of the city and just seemed like regulation would be a good fit for me.
The Spectators, dear? Could you explain?
Oh, you know, it's kind of a group for youngsters to come and see different stuff around the city, occupation-wise, so you can try out different things. They cover, like, the Regulators and the Cassians and Nixians and the Mines. Sort of like after-school vocational club.
We'll have to keep an eye on all these up-and-comers.
You know, I happen to know that maybe there's a little bit more here we can dig into. Your mentor, he was the previous proctor, man by the name of Joel Shin. Isn't that right?
That is correct, Phil.
Novi sort of glances sideways, giving him squinty eyes back to you.
And did he have anything to do with your decision to join the esteemed ranks of the Regulators?
I suppose he did have some effect on it, but the decision in the end was mine. It was just the darndest thing. Was walking to school one day, and he was in pursuit of a criminal on rooftop, and that guy was named Chappie Dusnick. He was a fairly prolific burglar back in the day, but he had managed to steal some Shazad trophies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what a predicament. What a delightful story.
He decided to jump off of the building rooftops and take to the streets, and I just sort of sunk him into a manhole, and that was about enough to get Joel's attention.
Shouts and whoops from regulators in the audience. Laughter from the audience and some applause.
She's like, yeah, nailing it.
Yeah.
To herself.
Oh, getting embroiled in the goings-on of the city. Putting yourself in harm's way right away, won't you?
It's such a young age, she says, more for herself.
Athena, we know how you started being a regulator, but why did you want to become a regulator again after coming back? Everything you've been through, what spurred that decision to try to return to the Force?
Oh, just because you're gone for so long doesn't mean you don't think about your old life every day. Just wanted to get back into it. Hopefully, things would just fall back into place.
And have they?
Somewhat. It's a work in progress.
Yes, of course, dear. It takes time. Excellence takes time. We're thrilled to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Some polite applause. Well, we just spoke about one of your mentor. Who would you say has influenced your life the most, dear?
Oh, the most?
The most.
Aren't we just a patchwork of all of our most important, influential people?
Yes, of course, dear, but some of those patches are inevitably bigger than the others. Who was your biggest patch?
My parents, obviously. My grandparents, we lived with them all in one house. They passed away in my absence. It's been difficult coming back.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that, dear. That's always difficult.
It's a patchwork quilt with some bits torn off I just can't get back. And she says with a smile, but it's very sad.
When you're talking about this, there's a hush through the crowd, and maybe you faintly hear some, oh. Well, speaking of your absence, dear, you've been a sensation since your return, only a month or so ago, and you returned from the surface, is that right?
That is correct.
Not many know the circumstances of your return. What can you tell us? What brought you back now of all times? Why did you leave in the first place, dear?
Well, you know, it was mainly the kidnapping.
There's a gasp that runs through the crowd, and just a lot of whispering, and even Novi just blinks and says, "Kidnapped, dear? How awful!"
How awful.
And you've been gone, that's what happened all this time, and you've just now come back?
Why would I leave such a beautiful city?
That's a wonderful question.
She shoots a little eye over at Phil. Back to Novi.
What happened, dear? How did you escape? How did you get free?
Well, there was one man keeping us all. His name was Dietrich Strickland. He was a topper politician. Low tier from what I've heard since getting out, but...
Another gasp goes through the crowd. Not as, prolific, but there appear to be some people who recognize this name.
But I'd be lying if I said the place wasn't on fire when we were leaving.
Oh, dear. Did you have anything to do with that?
Me? She says with a little limp wrist pshaw motion. But I think she uses her thumb as a lit match.
There's a smaller peal of somewhat nervous laughter, but then...
Good, she wants the crowd to fear her just a little bit.
I think there are more cheers, too. Just yeah, woo! You show him!
She just delicately blows it out of the side of her mouth, just to...
More clapping. Yes, well, we're all aware that Dietrich Strickland met his end that night as well, aren't we? Novi now, of course, reported it.
So I guess someone had to, right?
No one else, dear. No one but us.
She nods.
Well, welcome back, of course. It's a delight to have you. We're so lucky that you're returned to all of us.
Thank you. Before she continues, she, as an aside, leans over in Phil's direction, just says, Phil, I have to say, dynamite hairdo.
Oh, why thank you. I'm glad you like what I do with it.
Runs a hand through it. Some murmurs in the crowd. Some people are like, oh, what?
But she looks back to Novi next question, please.
But there is some, mild approval in the... there's, the crowd is made up of all sorts of people.
Yeah.
Maybe there's one person who does, a wolf whistle. Like a cat call whistle.
Phil's chest puffs out.
Maybe his throat gullet thingy puffs out just a little bit while he's looking fancy. Well, dear, how about an easier one? What's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Your favorite color, dear. It says a lot about a person, doesn't it?
My favorite color is one that I wasn't aware of till I was on the surface. You know, the sky after you get a thunderstorm and it's almost night and it's just that real dark blue.
Yes, dear, I'm from the surface. I'm
I know,
quite
that's
aware.
why I'm asking you.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful and it's my favorite color.
Some murmurs of, that's interesting.
And what would you say is the closest thing for maybe some folks who never been to the surface before?
That's a tough one because I hadn't seen it before I went up there.
Well, now that you have, maybe you could, is water or
She laughs.
blue like water.
Blue like water. Yup, nailed me, Phil. Got it.
Nods with his froggy lips, just...
It's kind of like those trees up there, you know? She wiggles her arm, the deep blue mushroom glowing trees.
A large portion of the crowd shifts in their seats to look behind them. There's, oh, yeah.
It's just a good color, you guys. I don't make up the rules.
More clapping.
We were talking about your influences earlier.
Phil cuts in as Novi
Yeah.
looks like she's about to speak, and she claps her jaw together and sits politely with her hands clasped over one knee. She has crossed legs, white-knuckled.
We were talking about influences earlier, and you mentioned your parents. What about your dad specifically?
Oh, my dad is, I know this is going to sound a bit biased coming from me, but he is the best chef in the city.
Oh, I happen to think he's quite talented myself, having just tried his fine cuisine for the first time.
My goodness. What did you enjoy, Phil?
Well,
I know I'm not supposed to be interviewing you, but...
Oh, no. Well, he specializes in a specific type of barisks in different sauces. It's really, really good.
It's a process, it's his craft, it's his art. He's got a beautiful chef soul, she says.
Yes, dear. Beautiful chef soul for a beautiful chef's daughter.
Thank you.
And what is your father's place of business? What is his restaurant? Or does he work somewhere? What can you tell us, dear?
The restaurant is Eskar Glow.
Beautiful name.
He thought so. Within the week, he will be cooking at Feastival in a cool little competition against the restaurant right across the street.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. It's a big to-do,
It is a big to-do. I'm very excited.
Sort of like an honor duel, a cook-off for honor.
It is a slight honor duel. Luckily, my dad's a good man. I think he's got this quite on lock. Not because he's a good man, but because he cooks a damn fine snail.
Well, I'm sure everyone would love to turn out and support him. Maybe I'll have to try his cuisine myself sometime.
You should. Stop on by.
I don't always have the palate for delicacies down here. I have a weak surface stomach,
Well, you should at least try the Kaida steak. It is another specialty.
I'll keep that in mind, dear. Thank you for the recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Phil opens his mouth and he's starting to ask you another question when you begin to feel a slight heat pressing in on your circlet.
Huh.
Faint at first, and then it starts to sear against your skin. I would like you to make me a smarts roll, and you can add your +4 to this.
Okay. Yeah. Oh. That's a 13.
Nice. Ooh, 11.
Oh.
That is a failure. I want to try to Benny it.
Okay.
5, not good enough. You feel your circlet heat up against your skin. You feel that probing mental intrusion. How do you fight it off?
She almost treats it like a mental buckler shield, where she does a quick back and forth with her mental barrier.
Nice.
To knock it away, but looks extremely concerned around. Like, on the down low.
Okay.
Trying to see who... I mean, everybody's looking at her, which she didn't realize till she looked out at the crowd.
All eyes are on you right now, so you are attempting to look around to see if you can determine who did this?
Just on the sly.
Okay, then I'm gonna ask you to roll me a notice at -6, if you're trying to be subtle about it.
8 + 2 is 10. That's
-6 is a 4.
That's a 4!
That's a 4.
Holy
That's a success.
shit!
Okay. You can still hear sort of garbled words in the background as you're doing this, but we'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes flick out over the crowd, and I mean, it's just a sea of faces in front of you in the amphitheater here, and plenty of people looking at you. And I think based on your earlier notice roll, like when you were looking for where might people be if they wanted a good vantage point, if they're gonna like shoot at me or something like that, your eyes are trailing along the top of the amphitheater, and then they stop at one of the giant mushroom trees, and you notice that there is a figure leaning against it with their arms crossed, just looking at you from up there.
Can I see anything about them from here?
I think they would be shrouded. They're probably wearing... It looks like they're wearing more like a balaclava, right? Like it covers their face and it has a hood to it. There are still eyes, but you're far enough away that you can't tell who this is. You can't make out those details.
Okay.
They're dressed casually in something unassuming. That nothing about what they're wearing would stick out aside from the fact that they're trying to hide their face. But I don't even know that you have like 100% confirmation that this is who it is, but like this is where your attention... It feels weird. There's a person standing by themselves at the back of the crowd, just like standing there with arms folded, leaning against this mushroom tree looking down at you. And I think after a moment, there's like a chuckle murmur that goes through the crowd.
Oh no,
that like pulls your attention back there. They're both sitting there staring at you, like waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. After, being up top so long by myself, most of the time I'm a little spacey from time to time. I'm sorry if I missed your question. She puts a hand up on her chest, like in apology.
And of course, it's natural to be a bit spacey with Ori heritage like ours, isn't it, dear?
Can be. I've come from Ori and Vel, so I can be very spacey, but I can laser focus like you would not believe.
And of course, it's a difficult question. Phil sort of gives you a concerned glance, but he says,
I was just saying there's, we can't help but notice there's something a little different about you.
Oh, is it my arm, Phil?
I was going to say it was your hair, dear.
Oh.
Looks wonderful, by the way.
Thank you. Your people did it for me, because I am useless with it.
Oh, well, don't give away trade secrets, dear. Now they're going to know.
That your people are excellent?
Her charmed laughter through the crowd.
She turns to the crowd. I couldn't do this by myself. With a very self-deprecating smile.
More laughter.
We were curious, how are you? What happened the last time we saw you? You had 2 of them.
Sure did.
Phil is very charming.
She laughs a little bit. You know, regulators are never really off duty, right? So I was just on a walk the other night and I found a flyer for the Wardens of the Called. And wouldn't you know it, it was right across the street from my apartment. So I decided to go take a peek, make sure everything was on the up and up. Turns out, it was not. There were, 15, 20 people down there in the basement. And this fella named Brother Lumen was up on the podium giving some sort of diatribe to them. Then when people tried to leave, because it wasn't quite what they expected or what they hoped it would be, they were being stopped. And I couldn't let that stand, because they weren't going to be safe. They weren't going to let these people go, and they were just trying to brainwash them. So I tried to cover their exit best I could. You know me, I'm a more physical girl in that aspect. But, sometimes there's an on-fire sword, and it just cuts your arm right off.
There's an awkward murmuring, through the crowd, but it's very faint, and for the most part, the crowd is silent, but hanging on your story. Everyone is paying attention to what you're saying right now.
What we've been able to dig up about the Wardens, they are trying to stoke a fire that was already burning for their own uses. I don't think they have the best interests of any half of the city at heart. It's just for their own gain. And I hope I can stop them and make it worth losing an arm. I think it already is, though, because all of those people got out. And I would like to play an adventure card.
Okay, for sure.
It's Tale Teller.
Oh, shit.
Let me read that bad boy for you.
Please do.
It was a dark and stormy night. Your hero must tell a story of his group's deeds to an audience of some sort, and make a persuasion roll. If successful, the listeners become friendly and helpful to the entire party.
Okay. That's really cool. That's a great card to have.
Hanging on to that one for a while.
It sounds like it. Very cool. Okay, well, you gotta make a persuasion roll.
Yep.
No modifiers, it sounds like. Just a persuasion roll.
It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay. What you get out of that, then, is somebody from the crowd stands up, just shouts, "It's true, I was there! She saved us!"
She very genuinely looks over at them with her mouth open. Wow.
It's like, "We love you, Athena!"
Oh my god. She says out loud. I'm very taken aback.
Cries of "Wardens are no good! Down with Wardens!" Just coming from the crowd.
I think she's fighting back a couple tears.
Mm.
Just a couple. She's got this. She's a professional.
Noe smiles and leans forward and pats you on the leg and says, "The city's lucky to have you, dear. These brutes running amok. People like you there to keep them in check."
Trying.
"And you went there alone, dear? You just found a flyer and went spur of the moment? Willy-nilly? Quick as you please?"
Well, you gotta act quick. It was almost starting by the time I got there.
"And what of this Brother Lumen?"
Oh, he's not gonna be illuminating anything else.
You can take a Benny for that.
Thank you.
There's a loud wave of laughter this time, almost sinister laughter, but the crowd's just yeah, fuck that guy. And some cheering. Just yeah, you show him. Woo! And Phil speaks up and he says,
At your press conference the other day, you mentioned somebody by the name of Simeon Krell. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I can tell you he's involved with the Wardens. That big hologram that showed up right after I was done talking about him.
That's weird. You think that was planned?
I don't think so. Because I don't think he even knew I was on to him, She laughed.
I don't know that.
Yeah. She's riding on that audience high, hoping it carries her through.
Yeah.
But I do know that he was an accomplice of Dietrich Strickland, and I gotta say, smuggling our Cori crystals up topside to make drugs out of doesn't seem like something someone who loves our city would be doing. So, take these wardens with a hefty handful of salt, not just a grain.
So, from what you've told us, dear, you're fully against the Wardens of the Call. Is this true?
Absolutely.
She turns to the camera and Graph's panning around, getting good shots. You hear that, Wardens, you cowards? Athena Sedaris is on the case and she's coming for you.
Oh shit, is Novi in a metal chair she could lift off the ground?
Sure, yeah.
She would like to just levitate her ever so slightly for Graph to be able to see it on camera.
Oh, dear.
I'm down but not out. She winks at the camera.
Oh, dear, you're sweeping me off my feet as we speak. Ah.
She puts her down very gently.
Oh, quite a display, dear. As you guys are speaking here, you begin to feel that presence again. So it's like a slight tingle on your circlet. This time, it's very faint, and the tingle goes away, but then you feel... It's almost like a tightness in your chest, like you can feel something in your gut, and I would like you to make me a spirit roll.
Spirit roll.
You can feel that purple presence stirring inside you.
Oh, it hasn't done that.
It is not.
Were there modifiers?
There were no modifiers this time.
It's a 4.
It's a 4, okay. You can feel that presence bubbling and trying to rise, the wash of energy starting to come up, demanding to be released. What do? Do you push it back down?
She puts some mental juice out towards it. Hey, are you okay? Is everything all right? What's going on?
The feelings you get back are, there's some concern. There's also a hefty amount of desperation that seemingly stemmed out of nowhere. The intent being pushed towards you is sort of a plea.
Just hold on, we can't do this here. People are gonna know.
You get back some confusion, concern, maybe some sadness, and that same feeling of desperation. And it doesn't go the whole way down. It's sort of like a simmer now. Novi is smiling at the camera, waving to somebody in the crowd before she turns back to you. So you're against the Wardens. You are a regulator. Clearly you love Novi now. Sato Novi. How do you feel about AleraCorp, dear?
AleraCorp?
Yes, dear, of course.
Well,
Such a big, influential part of the city now. It's politics. Helps the city survive. Brings in so many good folk. I'd say probably like half of the crowd claps at that.
Well, I'll tell you what AleraCorp brought to my city is my very good friend Bolt Bulig.
AleraCorp security seems to enjoy that. Oh, good old Bolt. Where is he today?
I'm not sure. Where is he ever? He's on the wind, being a beacon of hope, she says, trying not to laugh.
That is what he loves to do best.
It is.
It's what he's good at.
An inspiring figure.
He is. And you two just working together, just getting a lot done, looking good while you do it.
Thanks, Phil. Bolt's a good man. He's got a very good heart.
And what do you know of affairs of the heart, dear? Bolts in particular, A Harlequin workplace romance, perhaps?
We did go to the casino one time, but we mostly just watched the Barris Graces. They're just so slow.
There's accompanying laughter as well. Oh, you're telling me there's no spark there whatsoever? Such a power couple you would be,
Bolt has made it very clear numerous times that his true love is justice.
Oh, so you did try. He rebuked you? Oh, that's awful, dear. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and yet you managed to keep it together. You're so brave, so daring, so bold.
You can draw your own conclusions, Zerma.
Everyone will, dear.
Sure they will. They already have been.
Get that bolt, woo!
Jolt!
Wonderbolts! Well, if there are no sparks between you and Mr. Bolt Bulig, it looked like there might be some sparks elsewhere, dear.
Oh.
There's a peal of laughter. Polite laughter.
Oh, just workplace buddies out on the town.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that what the youngsters are calling it nowadays?
Oh, I can't keep up with what the youngsters call anything these days.
Romance, love,
Oh, God.
Is that an admission, dear?
Here's the thing. In my time on the surface, I did not really have the luxury of interpersonal relationships. And it's just kind of something I'm getting it back into since my return to the city. So it's all kind of new on a whole bunch of fronts. Every day brings new surprises.
All good days do, dear. What's his name?
Zadal.
There's a round of whooping and cheering from the crowd.
She has a very pained smile because she knows she's not going to drop it, right? Like, she's going to have to confess something.
Sure.
Maybe that will be enough.
Sure. Do you look anywhere particular?
Nope.
Just doing there? Okay.
She's making eye contact with a stretch of wall behind Novi's head.
It's an old sales trick.
Yeah.
Zadal, you can just feel it roll off your tongue. I'm sure he's a fine companion.
I imagine her voice is very loud, projected everywhere else. So,
Yeah. Just be careful where those sparks fly, am I right? Well, so you're grateful for Olercorp because they brought us Bolt Bulig, and what a spectacle he is, dear. And as we all know, I'm sure, your grandfather, Darius Sedella, sits on the High Council.
that's true.
He is the curator, the representative of the,
The Nixians.
Yes, dear, I was about to get to that. Your grandfather, dear, has been a good, kind friend to Sato Novi and Olercorp both. He understands what this city needs when its people cry out for assistance, and we're there to help. But I know that's not always popular with most people, especially these ones of the called and those who support them. What would you say to those people?
Well, I'd say, first off, the Wardens are no friends of theirs, but I've made that pretty clear already. I think she takes a solid beat to think about that before responding. My grandfather is probably one of the strongest people I have ever met, and I feel very lucky to have him in my life. And all he wants to do is he just wants to make Caldonix as prosperous a city and to continue to improve on what we started with when survivors sheltered here during the Zero. We're all one people, we just got separated for a while. And after being up top, I can tell you that's true. People are people. We're just separated by difficult situations sometimes. She's thinking about Isaac.
Sure. Oh. I would like you to make another persuade, please.
Okay.
Your argument is good, but it's also something that a lot of people aren't going to want to hear. So I think -2 for this particular one.
I spend a Benny.
Okay.
I spend another Benny. How about?
Ooh, I saw a 1.
It was a 2 and a 1. Was it -2?
-2.
Fuck. Alright, one more Benny. Ugh, 2 and a 1. Okay, I'm gonna spend one more Benny.
Okay. Do you have conviction right now?
I don't. No.
You don't?
I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
Oh, God.
Beefed all of them.
Oh, God.
4 Bennies spent.
Sorry.
Nothing.
Sorry. There are some murmurs of approval from the crowd, but beautifully said, dear. Beautifully said. We're all one people. We need to treat each other as brothers and sisters, no matter where we're from, where we're born, what abilities you have, what walk of life you come from. We need to lift each other up and share our stories, and that's what we do here.
And you do it so well.
Oh, thank you, dear. You're a flatterer, and we hope that you'll be back.
Of course.
You've got quite a flair, quite a knack to be on camera.
Do I?
I think so. You're an inspiration. Maybe we need to put you in pictures,
Oh boy.
That sounds like an endorsement to me, folks. What do you think? And the crowd starts to cheer and clap.
She looks over the crowd at her friends specifically with a momentary wide eye before turning back like, huh.
Hard to even see them in this
Probably.
because some people are standing up and waving their arms and stuff like that.
Is that dude still by the tree?
You look up, they're not there right now.
Shit.
I'm gonna make a roll here. Ooh. 6 and a 4. Blew up a 10. When you look up there, you actually notice that Lepaco is wandering around the edges of the crowd, like trying to be as innocuous as possible, but he's like wandering up in that direction.
Oh, because he saw me looking up there. Gene's
So
the best.
He blew up a 6 into a 4, so you got a 10 on his notice.
Man, this is a real 180 for Athena. Fucking Lepaco. God, I love Gene.
So you notice that he's wandering around in that area, doing his best to be innocuous, not draw attention to himself, but you know he's there. I'll give you a Benny because you admitted that you like Lepaco.
I do. Damn it.
Yes! I did it, you guys, I did it!
I don't know how.
So Athena, you guys sit here, they continue interviewing you, they ask you a lot of smaller questions now that you guys have covered the big broad strokes. People just want to know a little bit more about you, so little things peppered here and there. You've definitely captured the heart of the crowd, I think especially because of Taleteller. Maybe the one thing that didn't go over quite as well as you wanted to was the overt support of AlaraCorp and your grandfather and...
More of her grandfather than AlaraCorp.
Right. You didn't crash and burn or anything, it's just you didn't...
Could have been a little better,
Could have been better.
You can't get an A+ every time, Pickle.
Dear, thank you so much for being here with us. It's been such a pleasure, such a treat. I can't wait to have you back in the future in this or another capacity. Somehow, we'll get you back, we always will. Can't let something as good as you get away, you see. You mentioned that there's a festival coming up, something...
Feastival.
Feastival, yes.
That stands for the Feast of All, celebrating local artisanal deliciousness.
Sounds positively mouth-watering, dear. And we can find your father there. He's going to be in a food duel of honor for the soul of the snail, so to speak.
So to speak.
And what's your father's name, dear, so we can cheer for him in the stands, if applicable?
Clint Sedaris.
Clint Sedaris. Clint Sedaris, good luck to you. Good luck to his opponent. I'm sure
Well.
Now, dear.
She puts up her hand like, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big to-do. Eskar Glow versus Mobius Richter of the Mobius Strip.
She glares at Phil. Not
That's-
glares, but it's hard eyes.
Factual news reporting brought to you by Phil Nutter.
You can see her chest rises, and she wants to say something, and then she just blows it out the side of her mouth that the camera is away from.
Well, to all of you who came to see this recording, thank you so much for your time here. I'd like you all to give a big round of applause, a big thank you to Regulator Athena Deirdre Sedaris for being here with us. Everyone, now, please. She starts to clap. There's a lot of applause. People are just cheering, some whistling, and Athena, I love you.
The end applause is what has made her blush the absolute hardest.
Novi leans in and says, "You're natural, dear. They love you."
Thanks.
Doesn't this just make your soul swell?
It
Pride and happiness.
makes my soul sweat, but maybe it's similar.
Oh dear, you're such a cut-up. And she puts a hand on you, just like laughing to you. You're like, ah ha ha ha. And Graf wheels in to get a close-up of you two, just looking.
Phil is cut out of...
Phil comes over, leans down
God
between
damn
the two of you. Everything shuts off and goes dark, and the crowd is still murmuring and talking. You know, people are picking up and starting to walk away,
Yeah.
but some people are hanging out, just watching.
Athena has a very visible deflation into the comfiness of her chair. Just a...
Well, dear, that'll be wonderful. We'll chop that up and get it on the air right away. What was the thing that you didn't want to be aired anymore? What was that again?
Oh, it was a Mobius strip ad.
No, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'll go have that pulled immediately, dear. The deal is a
Anything
deal.
that Dick Richter decides to put up about his dad that slanders mine would be great to pull.
I'll let the proof editor take a look, then deal with that circulation. But I'll let them know,
Thank you.
dear. Yes, of course.
But yeah, let me know.
I certainly will.
Do you know anything about avenues for merchandising?
Dear merchandising, revenue, news. We've got a lot to talk about, it seems.
Seems like we do.
Well, especially if you're going to be joining us in pictures, being even more of a golden girl than you are now. Might be something we need to look into further,
I think that sounds good.
Let's set up a date and speak, dear.
I'll send some people to your people, as it were.
Oh, dear. See, you've got the hang of it already.
I'm trying.
She turns to look at Phil and just says, Philmore, straightens his suit and says,
Irma, wonderful sharing the spotlight with you. True pleasure being out here.
I had a great time, you guys. I was real nervous, but thanks to the two of you, this was really fun.
Yeah, we're a real dynamic duo. What do you say, Irma? We want to keep this on the road, make something a little bit more permanent fixture?
her lip curls in
He did do a good job.
a sneering smile. We'll let the ratings determine who did what.
She nods and shrugs. She can't argue with ratings.
She pulls out another cigarette, lights it, begins puffing on it, and she leans down, blows the smoke towards Phil.
Is it a ring?
No, it's just a gout. Just a plume of smoke. He flares his nostrils and inhales all of it, and then blows it in a different direction, which seems to put her out a little bit.
Ooh. Oh, damn. He's a pro.
You may have won this round, Nutter, but don't overplay your hand. Glares at him, turns to you, and gives you a smile and an incline of her head.
Athena smiles real congenial.
Turns, begins to clack away on the stone. Graf bobs once and then goes after her. And Graf doesn't seem to do stairs too well, but he puts his spindly legs, they extend far, so he can just go directly down, and it seems pretty seamless.
Athena's impressed. What a champ.
Yeah. It's just you and Phil up on the stage. He pats himself on the chest, rubs some small circles on his lapels, and says,
yeah, I think that went pretty good. Except for when you spaced out there for a minute.
Yeah, sorry, regulator instincts.
He now just turns and starts to look around.
What are you looking for? Huh? Trouble brewing, something like that?
Someone was watching.
Plenty of people watching. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Phil, what information do you have for me? You're half of this went so well.
It did go pretty well, but yeah, you only kind of scraped the barrel for me.
Phil More Nutter.
Hey, that's privileged information.
Well,
and she
I don't think it
introduced
is
me by my full
anymore.
name, so that's a strike against you too.
I thought Phil was your full name. How was I supposed to know? Phil, we made a deal. I complimented your hair.
All right.
Thank you. She flicks nervous glances over, looking for Lepaco again.
Now that the crowd is starting to disperse, he's making his way back down, so he's not right here, but still feet away.
All right. So, you didn't hear this from me, right?
No,
That's
of course
sort of
not.
the deal. All right, so Mobius is pretty confident that he's going to win because of, I'm sure, a bunch of stuff. But what I know is that he's contracting a specialist.
What?
You ever seen one of these competitions before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know they got the 2 different cooking stations. You bring some stuff from home, but most of it's already there for you because it's big. You know, it's hard to move around.
Right.
He's going to hire somebody to go and sabotage your dad's station.
Motherfucker.
I don't know the specifics. I don't know how it works. They're gonna, I think, try to install some sort of control mechanism in it. Maybe he could use it to mess with the settings on the station, you know, make it cook faster, slower, adjust the temperature, things like that.
Oh, that bastard.
That's pretty juicy, isn't it?
That is pretty juicy. Thanks, Phil.
You're welcome. And now, we're about square.
And he draws a square with his little froggy fingers.
She nods and gives him a thumbs up.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, we could do more sometime.
Yeah, maybe.
Fillmore. She
Hey.
walks away.
Hey.
She waves as she continues to walk away.
Nah.
Waves a hand after you.
She can't see.
Disgruntled. Turns to waddle away.
She's making tracks for Lepaco.
You can meet him basically as soon as you get down the stage now. He's there to meet you.
She even squats down on the stage still. So she's eye level with him, like, what the fuck was that?
He's coming quickly enough that his spidery legs are tearing up dirt as he comes down. I don't know, there was nothing there when I got there, but I saw where he was looking, so I thought I saw somebody, but they gave me the slip.
Oh, fuck. Someone's trying to get in my head.
His eyes widen a little bit. In your head?
Yeah.
Damn. Do you know what they were trying to do?
No.
Well, if they were trying to get in your head, that means they gotta be a psionic, right?
I couldn't see anything. It was too far away. I think they had something on their face.
Well, it is pretty common for criminals to obscure themselves. Gives you a pointed look.
Sorry.
It's
I
alright.
just didn't... Can we do anything to... Can we track them? Are there footprints? We're in a park. She starts hustle-bustling up the stairs to the tree. She doesn't know what she can do.
Yeah.
But...
So this will be a survival if you're trying to track somebody by footprints.
Do I have survival? Doubtful.
Okay.
No.
Go ahead and just roll me a normal survival to find the set of footprints that lead away from here.
I'll spend 1 Benny on that.
Okay.
Nope.
The main problem here is that everyone is leaving now. There's not only a crowd,
Shit.
but there's just footprints everywhere. It's impossible to tell what might have been here. People are talking to you as you're going by, just like, oh, hey, like, great job.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, you're great out there. Thanks for keeping us safe.
Hey, no problem. Stock responses, very harried, but still desperately looking at the ground.
Yeah, I think people aren't approaching you when it's clear, but now you're like looking at the ground.
She's detecting.
Yeah.
She's regulating.
When your group of friends approaches, It is Zadal being wrangled forward by Pavi and Tuca, like one on each side.
Oh, God.
Like a forced arm around his shoulder type of thing, like way too overly familiar. Zadal, by his nature, does not enjoy being in the spotlight, so he looks very
uncomfortable,
but not entirely displeased. Some part of him is enjoying the attention. Tuca's being a little rougher with him. Everybody's smiling, but Pavi has a smarmy smirk watching you, but she doesn't say anything. Tuca, however, says, "Y'all been keeping a lid on this, huh?"
Well, privacy.
Oh, yeah.
And interviews, and sometimes you just get asked in front of people.
That's a real bad time to talk about that, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
she says with her face in her hands. She's still squatted on the ground looking...
I can't believe that you actually gave her an answer.
She wasn't gonna stop. She's a shark. She would have just eaten me.
Oh, you didn't think about that beforehand?
No!
After that TV spot they played and everything.
No, I'm sorry, she
Athena
says in his direction.
Pavi pats Zadal on the shoulder. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, nothing to be sorry about.
I didn't want to put you on blast, but I didn't think about it beforehand because I'm a dummy.
That's all right, Luckily, I can make people not notice me most of the time. But, real flattering to be name dropped by the super popular Wonder Regulator.
She grimaces. But it's like, it should be a smile, but there's too much adrenaline to make it one, so it's just wide. You know what I mean?
Sure. There's a small crowd of regulators that walks by, like farther away, not right next to you guys. One of them just does like a wolf whistle, and then they burst into somewhat derisive laughter.
Oh, jeez.
Some knowing looks from like the people in the crowd who pass by.
Well, gang, not to put a damper on this, but I got some bad fucking news.
What you doing? You're looking weird, just bent down over a tree.
I know I'm looking weird. There was somebody up here who was trying to get in. Taps her head.
You get wide eyes from everybody else who now starts to glance around
That's
as
why
well.
I spaced. I couldn't do anything. She clenches her fist and starts rolling her fingers and...
I should have known something. Damn, I'm sorry.
You guys wouldn't have even seen this guy from over here.
Maybe, but I should have done the thing.
And he taps his head and then points at your head.
I could have tied us all up like that, and then, damn.
It's okay.
But nothing happened? You okay?
Mostly.
Mostly?
Yeah.
Quirks a brow at you, but nods and doesn't
She makes
press
like
you.
a grimace slightly, but leaves it at that.
Sure.
Oh boy, guys.
Oh boy. A moment of silence here as everyone now looks more uncomfortable at this news.
She brushes Zadal's hand, trying to get brain link going.
You give him significant eyes, and he casts Mind Link because he was just talking about it anyway.
Right.
So
That's what I was
I'm not
thinking.
going to roll for it. It's a 1 PowerPoint cost.
can do it.
He's got like a D10 psionic, so he'll be fine.
Great.
What's going on?
The purple woke up.
What, during the interview?
After whoever it was tried to break in, it woke up. It felt sad and desperate and confused and wanted to go.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Do you think it's connected?
It would make sense, right? Why else would it wake up? It's been quiet since I blew up.
I mean, it can't be a coincidence then, right?
Who was that?
Somebody connected the purple?
Yeah.
It's a pretty short list of people we know for sure, but there's always the unknown, I guess.
Well, it defo wasn't Benicia.
Yeah, no kidding. And I haven't made no headway on that, by the way.
It's been like a day.
I know, I'm just letting you know before I figured you was gonna ask, so
It's okay. Thanks for trying, though.
I will keep at it, keep trying. I'm just glad you're okay. You look really good out there.
Thanks.
You really won the crowd over. You got that natural charm.
Oof, when I need it. Sometimes it shows up.
Well, it definitely did today. Sounds like you're gonna be a big movie star now, huh?
God, I hope not.
I mean, I don't think they can make you, but...
I owe her a favor now, so I think it might just be something that happens.
Oh, Dina.
I know.
You gotta stop trading these favors.
It's the easiest way to get stuff quick.
That's true.
We're on a timetable.
I mean, come on, how bad could it be? In the grand scheme of things, you know, if you being a movie star ain't too bad. Probably. Where do you want to go from here? I mean, I don't know if we're doing anything the rest of the day, if you got any other plans.
I have something I have to take care of solo. Well, I guess duo, because I probably can't lose Lepaco, but it's important. I can't really talk about it till later, though.
Okay, yeah, sure, no problem.
But, if you want to meet up at my place later, I kind of want to go looking for the purple. I could really use your help.
Like, looking in the city, like, try to find the person, or like...
No, in you know...
Gotcha.
Braintown.
Yeah, sure, I mean, of course, I'll come by.
Cool.
Help you however I can, yeah.
Well, I hope you don't get mobbed by new admirers or anything on your way.
I hope I have no admirers whatsoever. I would prefer not being admired.
I'm sorry about that. I really didn't even think she'd ask for some reason. I don't know why.
The cat was scribbling at the bag anyway, because, you know, of that clip they got of me walking into a hedge. Never looking better. It's me. So I appreciate that, and maybe we try for just general discretion, but...
General discretion.
Everybody gonna know, so... Oh boy, hope this doesn't backfire.
Hey, Pickle.
Yeah?
You might have noticed there wasn't an episode last week. Last Monday, there was no episode.
That's true.
Because I know you, like all of our listeners, listen to it fresh every Monday when it releases.
I mean, I listened to it the day before as the final pass, so I get that sneak peek. But yes, I did notice that, and I was aware of it.
Well, that's because we're switching to a once every 2 weeks schedule for the time being.
Yeah,
sorry you know what? Sometimes life's a little crazy and you need to sort out your stuff.
Yeah, sorry for the scare that it didn't appear there. So every other week for the time being, we got a couple of things going on right now. It's just taking a little bit more of our energy, but we want to make sure we're still pushing forward with Neon Heat.
Because we love it.
We love it, and we love you guys, and we're excited to push forward.
One of the reasons we need a little extra time right now is because...
we got a super secret special project brewing right now.
Bubbling in our cauldron of ideas.
Toiling and troubling.
I know it's not Halloween yet, but this year has been pretty spooky on the whole, so Halloween all year.
Halloween
Fuck
all
it.
year. So we don't really have a time frame for when we're going to tell you what's going on yet, but...
there's a little teaser to whet your whistle.
Just a little teaser, but yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun, so...
got me a MIDI keyboard for my birthday, so I'm figuring out how to use that too. It's very time intensive. There's a lot of reading.
There's just a lot of fun stuff happening right now, so it's going to be every other week for the time being. It's going to let us work ahead on things a little bit more, make sure that we have more time to ensure that we're bringing you the quality that we crave and that you deserve.
Because we crave a quality, Pickle.
Quality cravings.
But in our usual news, this week we had Crockett and Waveshaper lending them tunes.
You can find Crockett at Crockett80s or crockett.bandcamp.com.
And you can find Waveshaper at Waveshaper_SWE on Twitter and at Waveshaper1.bandcamp.com.
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Special thanks to the Pinnacle Entertainment Group, who created Savage Worlds, which is the system we use to run this fantabular game for you.
Fantabular?
I'm standing by it for the time being. You can find them and their products online at peginc.com. Super special thank you to all of our patrons, but one patron in particular.
Is it Michael?
It is Mike. Of course it's Michael. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Sorry about the scare. We appreciate your support as always, but we're going to be bringing you some really quality stuff and then a super secret fun project that will arise within the next time.
Arise?
Arise. It'll be aroused.
It's a good outro.
Oof. Yep.
We're on Twitter at RPG for you and me. I'm on Twitter at You See the Hat. Goodbye.
Fade away.
We enter on this scene with Athena. Her feet are up on the communal Wonderbolt table. She's cracking into a crisp can of Flutter, reading over her papers for the day.
And what is Flutter?
It's a soda.
Oh, it's a soda.
It's a soda.
What kind of soda?
Clementine flavored.
Oh dear, okay. Bolt enters through the only door leading to this little hole that you call a workspace. Hunches to get in the door. Oh, I didn't expect anyone to be down here. What are you doing?
Working, Bolt. It's the middle of the day.
It doesn't look like you're working. It looks like you're sitting there drinking something.
She wiggles the papers in her hands. Lounging and reading can do both at the same time.
I don't think you can work and lounge and read.
What's tripping you up?
It just doesn't look like you're working.
Is it because my feet are up?
Yes. Of course that's why. Why wouldn't you think that's why?
I work better with my feet elevated.
Whatever. He walks over to the break table where there's a small array of refreshments.
There's a 6-pack. It's now a 5-pack of the sodas.
Oh, what is this Flutter? Is it like fancy water?
No, it's a soda.
What does da mean? It's soda. So, what does that?
I don't know, Bolt. I think it's just a concept, right? It's like what you call it. It's fizzy drink.
It's in a can. So
it's in a can. It's pressurized.
Probably a beverage instead of a concept.
Bolt, have you?
Like it's a physical. I'm holding it in my hand right now.
You should have some.
Why is there a moth on it?
It's a logo. They're orange. It's kind of orange flavored.
Is it made out of moth?
No.
But
the bubbles flutter in your tummy.
Oh.
It's fun.
Where do the bubbles come from? Like soap?
Oh, God, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, Bolt.
What happens when they pop?
Nothing.
I don't want popping bubbles inside me, Snooze. That doesn't sound fair.
She shouts into the changing room, Poppy, where do bubbles come from?
It's a membrane that separates two different gases.
There you go, Bolt. Thank you, Poppy.
Yeah. So this is membrane juice?
I feel like we're overcomplicating this, Bolt. It's just a drink.
Listen, you're the one who's telling me these things.
Have you had sparkling water? Like the fancy water with the bubbles in it?
All water sparkles when light hits it in the right way.
Oh my God.
So why are you giving me that look? I don't like it when you give me that look.
I'm not giving you any kind of look, Bolt.
Well, then look away.
She does. But she takes a very refreshing sip off of her crisply open can.
It sounds like there's some sort of rattling. Like something's trapped. It sounded to me more like a battle cry after devouring innocent popping things that are trapped inside your body.
Well, they're not sentient. It's a fucking bubble.
You were speaking in concepts earlier, Sedaris. If I'm not allowed to, then I think we need to just have a moratorium on concepts. Does it hurt? Does it tickle? Does it tickle the inside of your body?
Kind of tickles your tongue a little bit, maybe, if it's like a really fresh can, but it's fun. You just gotta try it, Bull.
All right. He looks at you and, how do I open this? There's like a little piece of metal, but it's completely sealed.
Athena jerks her hand just ever so slightly and the can cracks open.
I didn't tell it to do that.
Sometimes they just know.
He puts it down. I'm not interested in this.
Try the other one. 4 left. One of them's gotta be good, right?
But that one could pop. I don't want them to just pop open whenever they want.
Well, it'll only pop open the once, and if you do it first, it doesn't have a chance to. You gotta assert your dominance on this weird can.
But how do I open it?
With your fingers, Bolt.
It's just going to spray everywhere.
No, it won't. I promise. Well, don't shake it first.
Why would I shake it?
Bolt, do you really not know what's
inside? Oh, it's to hear what's inside. And he rattles it inside. Oh, I hear the bubbles. Gives you a skeptical look. Uses one massive finger to pry it up, and he's holding it away like a little fizz shoots out. Ugh. What's it supposed to happen?
Yeah.
This is a very messy beverage.
Only when you're not used to it.
He holds it up to his ear, listening to the popping.
She gives him a thumbs up.
Sniffs at it. It smells like syrup.
Well, the amount of sugar in it.
Some of the bubbles fly into his nose.
Fuck.
It tickles. It stings.
Athena looks at Pavi, who maybe is leaning on a wall now, just watching this.
Yeah, wide-eyed, but like mystified, but so intrigued.
Athena leans forward on her steepled hands.
What happens if it pressurizes in my mouth?
It won't. It's already depressurized. You're fine. Bolt,
Okay,
it's just a drink.
fine. He'll tentatively take a sip, his mouth puckered. Oh, it's so sweet.
Is it too sweet?
I don't know. Can't get over the sweet bubbles.
But maybe you crave them.
He takes a bigger swig, mouth full of soda, standing there, eyes beginning to water. You imagine you can hear the popping inside his mouth, but you don't know if that's true or not. He slowly swallows it. I can feel it bubbling.
Don't know what Shazad is, never had a soda. Whew.
My throat feels very prickly. I think it stopped. He burps loudly.
Maybe soda's not for you, Bolt.
You said it wasn't going to pressurize inside me.
It didn't.
What was that?
Bolt, I swear
I
to
know
God.
what a belch is, Sedaris. You told me that it wasn't going to pressurize.
I don't know nothing about science, Bolt.
Clearly, I can't trust you with anything.
You really can't.
Looks over at Poppy, points a finger. This is your fault, too.
No, all she did was give helpful information, Bolt.
It picks up the six-pack. It's just dangling from the plastic. This is nonsense. Why shouldn't I shake this?
Maybe you should shake it, Bolt.
I'm going to.
You should shake it. Shake it real hard.
Looking at you, squints his eyes, grabs the pack with two hands, and starts to shake them.
She makes quick eyes over to Poppy.
She flicks eyes back to you, looking just as concerned.
Oh, I want to make sure you know, Athena's eyes are full of delight.
Oh.
Because she knows Lepaco's going to have to clean this.
Oh, God. He's just standing there holding it. Nothing happened.
Why don't you crack one of those bad boys open?
You told me not to, so I feel like this isn't going to go well.
But you already shook him so much. She takes a long sip.
He pulls one off and tosses it to you. You first.
At the same time,
Okay. He'll
she
take
aims
one.
it towards him, though.
Hey, no.
If you aim it towards me, it'll meet in the middle, right? That's how that works.
He just squints his eyes at you and then takes the remaining 2-pack and just throws it on the ground by
Oh,
you.
God! Do they explode?
Oh yeah, they explode, start spraying everywhere in every direction as he had like backed away towards the door as he was tossing it to pull it forward and shield himself.
Athena is so sticky. He's so covered.
Points at you accusingly. I knew it! I knew you were trying to do that to me, so I did it to you first. How does it feel, Snares?
In response, she just opens hers in his direction.
No! Puts his hands up. Oh, it's so sticky. Ugh. I think maybe, he says, looking around at the ruined room. Perhaps soda is not the best beverage to have in the book room.
It is more of a fun time beverage.
I'm certainly not here to have fun.
She wipes some out of her eye.
Poppy is still hidden a little around the corner and pokes her head out to see the damage.
Does she just start laughing when she sees Athena?
Yeah, I think it's just... I mean, you kind of did ask for that.
I guess I did.
And Bolt laughs. This is disgusting. I'm going to change.